Hey, everybody. Hey, go ahead and tag a fam. Go ahead and, she said, first of all, assemble. She said assemble. This is our first public meeting. Okay. So we need to do this right. Let's see. Once you hop in, tag somebody, let them know we are live. Let's see here. Michael, don't nobody care you here. This ain't for you. I'm just playing. It could be for you, but also we supposed to act like how y'all act. So how they be acting, y'all?
They be getting us together. So I guess we're gonna try and get them together today. We're gonna get everybody together today.
Yeah, but your voice too soft because they don't be talking to us like that. They be manhandling us and being all kinds of disrespectful on these lives. So
you need to put a little bass in your voice, CC, when you say
right.
it. That's it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I got you.
We gon' get them together.
All right.
But we really are getting, this really is about, the women and us, trying to see what we gonna do about this here flirting thing that they were talking about. You don't have to leave, Michael. But if you are watching, I don't know why, but I don't think I can see comments. So if you're watching, please comment and say, hey, what's up? First of all, can y'all tell my baby happy birthday? Can y'all tell yourselves, ourselves, happy birthday? Today is Authentically Wed's second birthday. Like 2 years. Y'all, we have done so much in 2 years. And I'm excited to see what the Lord does in 20 years, right? And in the years to come. So I'm really excited. We are celebrating again. If you haven't signed up for the karaoke challenge, I need you to go ahead and do that. It's going down on Thursday, and y'all know how we get about our karaoke. Okay, it's live. So this year we're doing some fun stuff. It's a cash prize, so go ahead and get in where you fit in. And make that happen. So yes, thank y'all. Hey Lauren, hey Bianca, hey Shakima, hey Kanithia, hey Katie, hey y'all, welcome. Tag a sister, hey Rachel Yvonne. All right, got you. If you're watching the replay, do hashtag replay. This is gonna get good. So it's 9:05. I think I'm gonna go ahead and start. So ladies, we are here. Okay, this is flirt school. First of all, this is She Shed. So normally, for those of y'all who don't know, She Shed is it used to be our women's meetup. We would do it via Zoom, and it was private. We would have a good old Holy Ghost time. Well, sometimes we get ratchet, sometimes we'll pray together and just talk about real life. Sometimes I'll teach. It was that. But now She Shed is our live women's programming, where we will talk about, what's going on in the hearts and the lives of the women of AW, and topics that come up that we need to address. As a team, we'll have special guests, we'll do all that kind of stuff. Now, what's going to replace what was She Shed before is, I don't know if y'all can see, Single Fi Single. So Single Fi Single will be its own thing just for the single ladies. We'll start with single ladies first, just for the single women to come together, because our married women have real wives where they meet up. Cece is a co-director of that, and so they meet up and they have private Zoom meetings and stuff like that. So I wanted a space just for the single women, and then for all of the women we have She Shed. And so if you ever hear us talking about like, hey, She Shed or whatever, we're talking about the women of AW, because the men have their man cave and they have their own group and all of that. So that's what this is about. So again, if you are new here, please understand that if you're a woman, you are a part of the She Shed, and we don't be trying to be all buddy with the man cave people when we're in this format. Okay, this is wartime. Like, we are okay. It's nuck if you buck, because they be trying us when they do their lives. So bring all the petty with you, but actually learn something. See, Josh already starting up. He said we don't be terrorizing y'all. We just be asking questions. That's all we doing. That's all we be doing is asking questions. So, anyways, we're gonna go ahead and get started for today. And we're gonna talk about, first of all, what is flirting? So I'm gonna start with Becca because Becca is like, this is her jam right here. So what is flirting?
Flirting to me is, I don't want to say anything, but flirting to me is purposely interacting with the opposite sex to make your attraction known. That's the Becca Message Virgin Bible.
Okay. Got you. All right. Cece, and Cece is married, right? So what is flirting to you?
I think it's about the same as what Becca said. It's just making your attraction known. I think when we looked up the definition, they said something about some people do it like for entertainment, and it's maybe not necessarily what they want. But flirting to me is making my attraction to someone known.
Okay. All right. What about you? So we have Jada. She is our community manager, as well as our soon-to-be college grad. We're so excited for her. So she's the baby of our bunch, but we love her anyway.
Flirting to me is what Cece and Becca said, making my attraction known to somebody. You know what I mean? Hey, how you doing? What you doing later? Y'all don't flirt like that, but yeah, it's making sure that he knows what's up.
Okay, I felt a little bit of glory in that. Hey, how you doing? You know what I'm saying? Like,
Listen, it's glory all in it.
Period, poo. I love it. Okay, Dr. Treese, what is the scientific definition of? No, I'm just kidding. What is flirting?
Let's say if you're looking for scientific definition, I don't have it. But I mean, I agree with letting your attraction be known, but I also agree that with the entertainment part, because I feel like some people do flirt, but they're not doing it because they really want to talk to you. They just kind of get a kick out of like the back and forth. So I do agree with the entertainment part as well.
Yes. So I'm with you, Trees. To me, flirting is just an expression of making yourself like, I don't know. It's to me, it's an expression, it's a form of expression. And sometimes it's a way that you kind of peacock, so to speak. Like I'm just, showing you my little feathers. You know what I'm saying? Look it over here. And it's a way to connect with people. And I don't think that it always has to be a matter of attraction. I don't think that it always has to be that I like you or I want to get with you. Well, I think that a level of attraction should be there, but it may not mean that I want anything to happen. Like it may not even, I may not even care necessarily if you notice that I'm flirting. I think it's just more so the fun and the act of it. But it can help if I'm trying to, get with a little somebody. It may help for me to kind of like pull them in a little bit. It's an expression, it's a vibe. Like it really, it's a skill. Okay, it's a skill.
It is.
And we're gonna talk about that. So first of all, before we even talk about it, because we need to know, should we be talking about it? Our chief intercessors, Cece and Becca, should Christians be flirting? Because this is what we need to know on tonight. Should women of God be flirting?
I'd say absolutely.
I'll go. Oh, go ahead, Cece.
I say, look, if you are single and the person who you're flirting with is single, I don't feel like there's anything wrong with flirting with, like, I've never seen anything biblically to go against flirting. I think a lot of times being a Christian is like we we are like super modest and kind of tend to shun women who are a little bit more forward in what they want. But I don't see anything wrong with it, and I don't feel that there's any sin there or anything wrong. As long as you will not commit no sins or doing nothing that's out of order.
Okay, all right. Becca, you in Bible school, so you should know whether or not we as Christians should be flirting. Help us on tonight.
Okay, so I'm going to give two different perspectives. So, to piggyback off of what Cece was saying, if it's harmless, if it's I think that there's a natural interaction that men and women have. I think that that is absolutely normal, right? That's chemistry. That's how God made us to notice notice someone is attractive. You may catch a little giggle here and there. We'll share that later when we get into actual tips. But I think that there is a line that as women of God, we should not cross. So there's a scripture in Proverbs 31 where it says,
Come on, give
being
us the
charming is
text.
deceitful. Charm is deceitful. And so if you are flirting with the purpose of deceiving someone, if you are flirting to, get a free meal out of a date, if you are flirting with the sole purpose of you feel empty inside and you want somebody to fill you up, if you are flirting knowing doggone well you're not interested in this person for real, but you're just trying to maybe get financial gain out of connecting, that's when we get out of order concerning women of God. And so if your purpose of being charming or flirtatious is to be deceitful in some way, shape, or form, then that's out of order. But if you're just naturally, going with the flow, getting to know somebody, little kiki, ha ha, hee somewhere, I think that's absolutely fine. Just as long as you're in the confines of not engaging with somebody that's not a pure motive.
Got you. So one thing that I even wanted, I think I got some revelation when you read that scripture where it talks about charm is deceitful, right? And what is it? Charm is deceitful and beauty is vain.
Beauty is fleeting.
Beauty is fleeting, but a woman who fears the Lord is worthy to be praised. And so I think that to even add more understanding to that scripture, what I heard is that charm is deceiving, but it doesn't mean that it doesn't have its place. When somebody is charming, that's actually a good thing. It draws you in. But if that is the basis of your connection with a person, it is deceiving because you cannot see. It's hard to see past charm, right? It may pull you in, but it's giving you it's providing a facade, right? It's providing a pretty picture that may not track all the way once you get behind it, right? Once you open that door. And so if all you have is a flirt, if all you have is beauty, if that person, or even if somebody that you're attracted to, if the thing that is pulling you in is the main thing that is sustaining your relationship, then that's not going to hold up, right? So if you're falling in love with somebody over a flirt, if you're like, that might be my husband over a flirt, or if all you have is a flirt and somebody's trying to get to know you and they can't get anything more than your charm and your beauty, then there's no substance there. So we have to remember that your flirting prayerfully is connected to some sort of substance. Let's not draw people to an empty well. I felt some glory on that one. Somebody need to write that down. Jesus said that to somebody. Do not draw someone to an empty well. So I think that it's important. Yes, charm and beauty, but beauty God has made things beautiful, right? God has made, like, charisma can take somebody a long way. But you know what? Obama was charismatic and charming, and so was Hitler. So, it's all about your motive. It's all about what's behind it. Like Becca was talking about, what is your motive when you're flirting? Okay. So now that we got that out the way, our hearts and minds should be clear. Prayerfully, nobody's feeling guilty about being a little flirtatious. I want to talk about, Jada, tell me, because we have some younger people in the group. It's a smaller bunch, but it's some people in here that are in college or just leaving college. What does it look like to flirt the wrong way? What is the wrong way to flirt?
I think the wrong way to flirt is I think given the persona that my mom used to tell me, you don't let them milk the cow for free. And so giving them this persona of you, and it goes back to what you were just saying of like, yeah, if you go ahead and secure this bag with me, it's open sesame. When you know that I'm walking in absence, or you know I want more than just a hookup. I want a relationship. But for the sake of me entertaining you, for the sake of you calling me pretty, for the sake of you feeling this void on the inside of me, I'm gonna flirt with you. Or I'm sometimes flirting is even like being aggressive in it, aggressively pursuing for the sake of I'm gonna hunt you down, I'm gonna get it. And then you end up with either the wrong person, or you end up in this situation that becomes toxic for you.
Oh, that's good. That's good. So it goes back to like intentions and motivation. Treese, tell us, what is the wrong way to flirt?
Um, I wasn't thinking that deep. So shout out
No,
to
tell
Jada
us the
for
surface
diving
stuff.
there. I was just say like stalking people's DMs. Like if you are sliding in their DMs, introducing yourself and like having conversations with yourself, that that ain't it. Like you you're no longer flirting. You're making yourself look pretty desperate. Like come up out of them DMs.
Listen,
Say like go back to the playbook and figure out where you're going wrong or something. Like don't do that. Like, and people think that liking pictures is flirting for real, for real. Like, people in real life think that liking pictures is a flirt. It is not. Like, that is not flirting. That is simply saying, I appreciate this picture. So, like, please be intentional, but like doing stuff like that, sliding in DMs, talking to yourself, and oversharing. Oversharing is not flirting. Like, talking about your whole business from kindergarten is not flirting. He don't want to know that. He just met you 2 seconds ago. He matter of fact, he ain't even met you yet. He just added you on Facebook like 3 seconds ago. He don't care about your kindergarten history. Like stop oversharing, come out of the DMs and stop liking pictures thinking that's gonna get you somewhere. Cause his girlfriend probably watching you like them pictures and
oh,
she paying attention, sis. She paying attention. Just to let you know. So stop doing that too. All right, I'm done.
please.
Okay.
Have you eaten today? You okay? Cause you just like
I did eat
That was the
today.
girlfriend for me already watching it.
I did eat today though. I did. I did.
okay. All right. I just want to make sure your sugar wasn't low. Listen, before I ask the other two ladies, let's tackle some of these questions because y'all are asking some good questions. So the first question I see is there a difference between flirting and affirming that someone is attractive to boost their morale when they're feeling insecure? So who wants to take that? Here's the question. I'll drop it right here. So is there a difference between flirting and affirming that someone is attractive to boost? So basically, is there a difference between flirting and pity flirting? Because that's what it sounds like.
I wouldn't say pity flirting, but I would say that I mean, I affirm my female friends. Anybody on this panel can tell you, I'll be the first one to be like, yes, gorgeous, beautiful, sexy, yes. You know, I'm definitely going to affirm you because that words of affirmation is my love language. And so that's how I show love to my friends. If I have a male friend and they look nice or something like that, I wouldn't have a problem telling them that they look nice. I think when you start talking in a sexual way, or in a way that's kind of suggesting that you want to take things further, that's when it's like too far. So if someone says, I've been in situations or I've been around circles of women who a guy will be like, I like your hair, or I like your dress, or you look nice today. And they'd be like, girl, he want me. No, he's just giving you a compliment. Like there's a difference between someone who's just giving you a compliment, just being nice, and someone being like, oh yeah, I see that thing poking. Okay, now that's flirting. You know what I'm saying? So I think that if we just listen, I think a good flirter and just in general interaction, if you are actively listening to what the person is saying, then you can kind of decipher, is this person crossing the line, or are they just being a friendly person, or just, sharing love or giving love?
That's good. Anybody else?
Yeah, I think this question is like vague and specific at the same time. And so if it's, I'm assuming that this is someone that you may know because you're saying to boost their morale when they're feeling insecure. Like that sounds like a very specific type of situation. I would think that your affirming of them has nothing to do with flirting, right? Like if you're just like, they may be having a hard day and you're just like, man, do you not know who you are? Like, you're amazing, blah, blah, blah. I think that that's healthy affirmation. I think where we go wrong is we do not celebrate opposite sex friendship, right? So if you're a girl and you have brothers in Christ or just, cousins or whatever that you claim as your Christian family, it's more than okay to just say, bro, you killing it today. You wearing that suit and it not be anything inappropriate. And so I would say it is absolutely two completely different things. Now, if you're low key interested in this person, it may be flirting. It may be low key flirting, but I'm gonna just leave it there.
Can you hear Renee?
No.
I can tell by her face she's talking junk right now, but yeah, she's probably gonna back out and come back in. What you said, Becca, is so good. Like sometimes people will say, like, "Oh, I'm just honestly flirting." You're genuinely interested in that person. Oh, like don't walk that line. And a lot of that it comes from fear of rejection. Honestly, you're just afraid to really step out there and be rejected. Those of us who are forward, listen, for being forward got me my husband, so I am pro forward. Okay, those of us who are forward, I guarantee at some point we have all been rejected by somebody, but you just keep on shooting. You know what I'm saying? Keep shooting. I think that's where men and women differ, is that if a woman is rejected by a man, it's like, okay, I'm never gonna flirt again. I'm never gonna put myself out there. They almost get jaded by someone else not having them as their preference. Whereas men, they can see, well, a healthy man is going to continue to put himself out there because he knows one monkey don't stop no show.
Can y'all hear me now?
Yes.
Okay, I don't know what that was. The devil. No, I'm playing. But I was saying that while it's easy to say that everybody you flirt with you may not want, and everybody who flirt with you may not want you, I think though where we have a hard time and where things can be misconstrued is when we don't have. So let's say you did know that person for a minute and you were just affirming them, and so you gassed them a little bit, right? Not gaslighting, but you gassed them up, like what I'm saying, you hyped them up. I think that it's important for us to have certain boundaries in relationships, and have clarity in relationships to where those things are sure. So for instance, I have male friends, and so if I go up to them and I'm like, okay, I see you, look at you, right? Like, okay, shoes, okay, Sue, like that's me affirming them. And I may do that to somebody I'm interested in, but we have an understanding in that relationship, like that's not where this is going. But I'm trying to hype you up because you looking like you looking. Like I have male friends who will be like, as soon as I drop a picture, or if they see me in person, like, oh, so you trying to show, look at you looking all fine and stuff. Like, who you looking fine for? And so they're gonna hype me up, and I don't take that for anything because we understand what that relationship is. There's clarity and there's boundaries in those relationships. So I think that if you are going to affirm somebody, one, you have to have integral flirting. Okay, don't flirt with somebody that wants you and you don't want, but you haven't made that clear. But you wanted to give them a little bit of attention, or you wanted to affirm them, and so now the wires are crossed. Like, don't play with people like that. And I think that is the difference. I think the difference is intention, the history of that relationship. Like if somebody likes you and you have not made it clear that you're not interested, but you want to show them some love or whatever, I just would even stand away from that. Maybe and honestly, all affirmation doesn't have to be flirting. You could just be like, hey, like that was really good, or you look great today, or and some people may misconstrue that for flirting, but a compliment and flirting is two different things in my opinion, right? I'll compliment any and everybody, but how I compliment you may differ, or the finesse with which I compliment you is kind of what differentiates it. But I think Becca said it best. Like, we don't practice just affirming people for the sake of affirming them, and so we don't know what to do when somebody does that. All right, so just allow yourself one, to be clear when you're doing that to other people. But if somebody's doing that to you and you're not sure, like, I wouldn't take somebody's flirting to automatically mean they want me. But I think some people are just like, and this is so hard, I'm gonna move on, but it's kind of hard because I think I also have a set of social skills that some people may not have. And that's like not shade, but especially when you grow up in the church, and you don't learn certain things just about how people operate, like, you miss out on that social skill of like picking up what kind of energy somebody is throwing at you. And so while, yes, from time to time I may be like, is this person feeling me or not? For the most part, I can tell the difference between somebody hyping me up and somebody trying to get my attention. Yeah. So I know that was a lot, but there was another question somebody asked where they said, what about being naturally flirtatious? Sometimes people may think you're flirting, but you're just being you. I think that the intention, and I'm gonna pass this on too, but I think that the intention is up to you, but the way that it is translated, or what that person receives, is kind of on them. So you can't really do anything with what somebody is giving you. I know I can have a really I have a very like attractive personality. That's not the word I'm looking for. Oh, charismatic. So I can be very charismatic. I know like how to fit into a moment. And so maybe somebody could misconstrue that. And there's not a whole lot that I can do about that. But I can be, like I said before, integral and make sure that I'm not doing that in spaces and places where it's more likely to be misinterpreted. What are your thoughts on being naturally flirtatious and people just thinking you're flirting with them, but you're just being you? What do y'all think about that?
I think that we have become a culture that is not used to people being nice and friendly and welcoming. And to kind of piggyback on what you said, Veronique, I did not grow up in church. So a lot of the awkwardness that I see a lot of Christian women have around men, I don't have that because I've been around men all my life. A lot of my friends growing up were men. I was always, not gonna say always, but I am a woman who would pursue. And so I really didn't have that weird, like, I call it the middle school dance syndrome, where it's just like, oh my gosh, there's boys over there. What do I do? Like, that's not my personality, right? And when you are charismatic, you can go into a room and relate to everybody. You can talk and mingle with everybody. And so when your personality is that way and you can turn on or turn off, it's something that could easily be misunderstood as flirting, when in actuality, you're just being friendly and you're trying to connect with people. And so I agree with Vernica saying, like, if you know that you are not being flirtatious, it is not your job to control everybody else for them to know that you are not flirting as well. Now, if someone does approach you, you need to be integral, have a conversation. Oh, I'm sorry, that's not what I was trying to do. My bad. That's just my personality. Or even if you were doing it on purpose, say that too. But I would say I think it just ultimately comes down to just you being a nice person and people just not being used to being around nice people.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, I think that's a big part of it, is like our culture is just not used to people just being nice and being enjoyable. Like, how lacking may somebody's life be when every enjoyable moment can be misconstrued for interest? And so I think that it's important for us to give ourselves more experience where you're just enjoyable and where you enjoy people, and then you just move on, right? It's not a missed opportunity. It's just a moment. And I also think this is the reason why women should go on more dates, but that's a conversation for another day. Like, learn how to interact with people in those moments, so that way you know what those moments feel like, and you're not grasping for those moments in other moments, if that makes sense. So yeah, anybody else have thoughts on that, like being naturally flirtatious?
I agree with what Becca said. Um, I think it comes down when it comes down to it, just being honest about what the moment was or whatever. Like if it comes to that, just be honest. Because I know I've been having conversation with people, and I'm like, like, wait, is this flirting? Like, I'm just checking because I know I can flirt a little bit, not really trying to mean anything, and I just want to make sure that we're on the same page. That this is not me trying to get with you type of thing, and that you're not, you're not going there either. So being honest and, just, I mean, it's okay to live a little bit. I'm not saying like be out here like throwing yourself at anybody, but it's okay to have good conversation. Like Bernice was saying, you just being enjoyable, as was said in the comments, like, it's okay to have those moments, to be witty with somebody, to like, have nice conversation. But if it does come to, the point where somebody is showing interest, it's imperative for you to be honest. Like if you're not trying to go there, be honest with that person. Don't continue the flirt and lead them on.
That's good. And I see some questions about flirting in relationships. We're gonna get to that because that's a whole nother beast. So we'll tackle that in a second. But let's go back to the question of what is the wrong way to flirt. Me and Cece have had this conversation, which is also part of why we wanted to have this live as well, on some of the things that we see that may or may not be passed off as flirting within this here organization, within this here platform. So, Cece, tell the people what is the wrong way to flirt based off of some of the things that you have seen.
Ooh, I thought you would never ask, girl. I thought you would never ask.
This is the only reason why Cece is here, y'all.
Let me step on my soapbox just for a second.
Come on here.
Women of God, you can be flirtatious without being overly churchy. And when I say that, I mean a man posts a picture and you may be under the comments like, my God, today I have seen the coming of the glory of the Lord. Lord, rain down all provisions from heaven and the manna, and Lord, that is not flirting, and it's not sexy or attractive, So I would say one big wrong way is to just over church the thing, over church that thing. Just speak your mind. Say, hey, you look good, or you're hello, handsome, whatever you. Just please, we gotta listen. In 2021, that gotta be canceled for real. Because church girls are not. We lit too. We do not have to. Do you think we gotta compete with these? Not compete, but we have the worldly girls coming at them with all and everything. And I'm not saying be of the world, because we're not of this world. But I'm saying you can't be no worldly good when you come across as just too super churchy, okay? Like you come across, you giving them sister vibes, you giving them sister vibes, the nurse vibes, all covered up, super duper holy, super sanctified church sister vibe. Just tell the dude he look good. Just tell him he's sexy. Just tell him you like his smile. It is not going to, I promise you it won't hurt. And he will see that. He gonna look over all those comments. It's like the Lord has spoken and all that extra stuff. Y'all, you think these men up in here is really looking at that? I promise you they're not. And maybe I may be presumptuous. If there are any men in the comments that like that, please by all means speak up. But if y'all in the comments and y'all are men and you know and you see that, and it's not something that would make you actually a woman stick out to you, please just let it be known. It's not. That ain't it.
Yes, listen. And the thing there too is that I think that you may have tripped up some people when you said, just tell the man he's sexy. Can women of God, can women of virtue say that somebody is sexy? Can we say that?
Can we? because this woman got show would. Okay, I show
Listen,
that's exactly
I
what
mean,
I might say that in
you're
DMs.
saying it in your head anyway.
you exactly. Okay, you
You
better.
already said it in your head. Just go ahead. Just let it out.
You
Don't bottle it up.
ain't you ain't saying I want to do anything to you, but you know you sexy. You look good. I remember I was telling a friend to tell a good dude that he smelled good. And she was like, oh no, no, no. I'm from the South. We don't do that. You a city girl. That's what y'all do. But if you smell good and you near me and I catch that manly, just that polo black, I'm gonna have to say something. Okay? I'm single.
Listen, I'm from the South, and I'll be like, "Excuse me, what was that you were wearing?" I mean, I just, I just caught a whiff, and I'm just wondering what that scent was. But no, don't use the South as an excuse. Don't do that to us. Don't do that.
Right.
Run the game, BB. Run the game, okay? I
Listen,
just caught a whiff of that. What is that you have on? That
what is that?
complements your appearance very well.
Mm,
Come on,
Listen,
lady.
it
Teach
compliments
listen,
them
you.
what to
Oh, I
do.
like that. I'm about to
listen.
use that one now. I'm about to use that one. That it compliments your appearance. Like, but that's the thing though. Like, we have to stop being scared. We think that just because, and this is the issue, right? The whole "he who finds a wife" thing has taught us that if we say that, that means that we're leading, and we're not allowing ourselves to be found. But the thing is, men, to be honest, like they have been trained on, let me talk to somebody. They've low-key been trained on how to be rejected well, right? Because they shoot their shots a million times from the time that they're like in puberty. And so to be honest, you're actually helping him make his pursuit a lot easier if you're able to throw out some compliment, throw out some sauce. Pre-pandemic, oh, if you was really bad at it and you walk past somebody that smelled good, or maybe y'all, at the same function or whatever, you put your hand on that, on just slightly on the side of that, just right here on the side of that shoulder right there. See, there's some glory right here. Not here. Now, don't be grabbing nobody right here. Like, excuse me, sir. Excuse me. You smell really good. What is that? And you got to look at him a certain way. Like, you smell really good. Look at him. If you real bold, you'll do the look up and down like, what is that? You smell real good. What is that? You know what I'm saying? And then now he feeling like, oh, shit. And now you in there. And if you know what I'm saying? And that's his opportunity, right? To be like, oh, like, well, thank you. It's blah, 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 blah. So what's your name? And then it's going to go from there, right? You might even get the digits after that. If he's moving a little too slow on that, you could be like, all right, well, I'll see you around. And then, he'll come back around, he'll ask you. But that's the advanced edition of Flirt School. Okay. That's the advanced edition. We just this is 101. Don't be afraid to tell somebody that they look good, and do it in a way. With my clients, one of them, I talk about creating experiences when it comes to men. Y'all got to create experiences, even in these comments. Like, I literally had a man enthusiastically jump in my DMs because of a comment I made. All I said was, I thought that and he was like, he's a musician. So I was like, oh, like such and such was really dope. I've been enjoying your videos. I'm talking about that fast. Homeboy was in the DMs. Like, what's up? Like, I've been seeing you. I just didn't know. Like, I just gave him an entryway. I gave him an experience. I gave him something that he can hold on to pull him in. Okay? Lauren, yeah, we're gonna have 201 one of these days and get you to the advanced level. But y'all cannot be afraid to say something to these men and it be something up front, not these churchy cliches, not biblical script. Now, to be honest, I was in defense of the ladies. I was in defense of the she shed. I said, now, Cece, them girls ain't really flirting. Like, that ain't really what they mean. And then I read the comment section and I realized that was exactly what they meant. And not only was it exactly what some of y'all meant, but it's all that you knew how to do. And so we got to open up, like, the same way that you would gas up your sisters, do that. And don't let it be such this heavy thing. Like, and that's why I think that flirting should be practiced. Throw it out there. When you see somebody in the street, even if you don't want them, but they smell good, they look nice, like, oh, I love your outfit, and keep it moving. Practice being upfront about what you got to say and what you mean. Closed mouths don't get fed. Okay? Becca, what is the wrong way to flirt?
All right, ladies. I hope y'all still love me after this. There is a very thin line between being upfront and being overly aggressive. Sometimes in your attempts to interact with the opposite sex, there's an expectation that once you flirt with him, he just knows that you're his wife and you're expecting commitment off of a flirt. So remember that the wrong way to flirt is to interact with this person like they are your husband. The wrong way to flirt is to tell them that God said that you are my husband. The wrong way to flirt is naming all the list of attributes that you wrote on your list in your diary, that he just matches everything on your list, and this was just a confirmation from heaven. This is the wrong way to flirt. You're doing too much. Start off. You can be direct, right? Like Veronique gave us those amazing tools. You can be direct, but don't do too much. Okay. Going back to this whole Christianese language that we like to use. He knows you're saved, sis. You don't have to run your Christian resume to him. He knows that, right? And keep in mind, he's probably ran across a whole bunch of church girls that wasn't about nothing. Okay. So what is going to set you apart from all these other churchy women? Because if you're coming, like they said, with your button to your throat shirts and your skirts down to the floor, he's gonna look at you like you boring. Okay. So part one, there's that line. Don't do too much. Do enough to be noticeable, to be memorable, and all that type of stuff. But don't do too much. He's not your husband until he says that you're his wife. And secondly, relax. Do something, say something, and start a conversation that is outside of church. What about you is interesting? I'm sorry, I gave a what to do and what not to do. But those are my 2 little points. Go ahead.
That's good. And we're going to get into some what not to do. What to do in a moment. Some more of that. But yes, like, please stop telling me, even if you did hear that, okay? Even if you did hear that, can we not start off things by telling people stuff? Let it be revealed, and then you can tell them the story. Why we be so excited to say stuff? Huh? Why we can't just let God be God?
I also want to speak to what Becca said about being too aggressive. Sometimes being too aggressive involves like stalking their Facebook profile and like responding to people who respond to them. Like men are attracted to confident women. So if you are all on their Facebook page and you are and y'all have not established, now if y'all established and y'all talking, that's one thing. But if your only comment or conversation to them is about another female, that's gonna get old quick. Like, make sure that your experience, like what Veronique said, your experience with them, it needs to be something that is like you're creating an experience with them. Talk about other things. Talk about things that I think the men said this before about like, and Veronique spoke to this before. They make a comment that's very thought provoking. Take that conversation into the DM. Hey, I thought that what you said was really, cool. I love your perspective on that. Let it kind of flourish from there. But don't clock their social media, because I promise you it's a turn off.
Mm-hmm.
Can I just say one more? What to not do. Mm-hmm. So I know we're talking about like in a digital space, right? But when you are in person, oh look, I got my little microphone now. If you are in person, what not to do? Do not stand there with your arms closed like this. Do not stand around with your resting bee face. Do not put behaviors out there that tell people to leave you alone. Because that's going to tell a man to leave you alone. So you need to make sure that your audio and your video is matching. What you say and what you are putting out is matching. So if you want to flirt and you want to be open to people flirting with you, be welcoming. Be someone that a man would want to talk to. If you standing over there with your arms folded and your nose flared up, he not going to want to talk to you, sis, no matter how beautiful you are.
And not just that, like, don't just stand there and stare at people. That ain't flirting either, sis. He can't read your mind. I promise you. He probably thinks you're crazy if you just standing there staring at him. Like,
But the
face him.
songwriter definitely said, "I can read your mind, babe."
Listen,
I
he's
know
already in a
exactly.
relationship with that lady and
He
probably
was.
With this,
had
Oh, okay.
relations, so he knew what she wanted in that moment. Like that's what that
Okay,
was.
okay. I just wanted to
But
be.
I'm not standing across from the room staring at you. I'm honestly, and think about it like this, right? If a guy did those things to you, how would you feel? Like, why are you doing things to a guy that you would call him crazy or a stalker for if he did it to you?
They don't
That's
like
my
that
question.
gospel. They don't like that gospel. Listen, my two are one. It is not flirting if a guy comes into your DMs and instead of creating a warm and welcoming environment, you decide to ask questions or say things like, what made you what why are you in my DMs? Do you desire marriage? Um, like, I honestly, I'm a single mom. I work a job. I make six figures and I'm not really trying to play. So you slide into my DMs, like, where you at? It's
I ain't
not
got
cute.
time. I ain't got time. I need you to make your intentions known, like right.
It's not cute. It don't work, and it's not flirting. Okay, we love doing that. I can only, like, I need to know that this is going towards marriage, so don't slide that whole t-shirt thing. Like, if you're not my husband, don't talk to me, or whatever that stupid t-shirt says that I've been told y'all to stop wearing. Don't talk to me if you're not my husband, or whatever. Like, don't do that, y'all. How can they can't possibly be your husband because neither of you have a ring. And so we need to stop, like, thinking that it's cute, or that a man thinks that you're more worthy when you put out your whole resume, and when you tell them what you is and ain't gonna do, what you is and ain't gonna accept. Like, that's not flirting. It's not cute, and it's not gonna get you nowhere. Okay. And let me say this. You may have heard of somebody trying it that way and it did work, but I promise you it is the exception and not the rule. Okay. The second thing is, do not play yourself, and y'all not gonna like this. Don't play yourself by hopping in the young man's DMs and thinking that you're the only one in there. But Vernique, like, I don't want a man who everybody in their DM. You sure? Because I don't date uggos. And I know I got a few in my DM right now.
Not uggos.
I mean, they ain't getting no response. But the fact of the matter is, they're there because I am desirable. You're there because that person is desirable. You ain't the only one with eyes. So stop going into these situations mad at people for not giving you a certain level of treatment or whatever in your first encounter with them. Stop playing yourself. It's not realistic. Go in there, you shoot the best shot you can. Don't worry about whatever else is going on. Do you? Because I am of the mind that when I shoot my shot, I plan to make it. Right? When I'm on the field, points are going to be going up. All right. So I'm not worried about what's going on, but I'm also not playing myself by thinking I'm the only person that this person could be interested in or find attractive. Now, what I will do is create such an experience that you gonna forget Susie and Jackie and Sally. But let's not play ourselves and think that a good man doesn't have other women in his DMs. That's not true. Because if we were to scroll on through your messengers, all right. So those are my what not to do as far as flirting. Now I want to talk about relationships, and we're gonna move quickly through this, but I want to talk about relationships, like dating when you have relationships. So a couple people asked about we're gonna talk about dating, courtship, and then marriage. So one person said, is it wrong to what is it if you are courting or dating somebody, if you're dating somebody exclusively, And is it wrong for you to flirt, or because you're not married, all bets are off? What do you think, Jada?
I think, y'all may not like my answer, but then again, so I personally think don't do what you wouldn't want to be done. And so with that comes the conversation. If you don't want them out there flirting, if y'all have had the conversation that y'all are established, then when the boundaries cross, then yes, there's a reason for you to be upset. Yeah, there's a reason for you to look in sideways. But if y'all haven't had the conversation, if you still out here wearing your options, then don't be mad when the man of God doing his too. Because at the end of the day, if you weighing yours, you be a fool to think he not weighing his. Yeah.
A word. Okay, y'all felt that moment of silence because the word has gone forth. Okay, this whole, I ain't said much about it, but this whole thing that we're peddling about how, you ain't married, so you could do whatever you want. I understand it in theory, but in practicality, we need to be cautious about what we're saying. Now, when it comes to multiple dating, you still need to be integral. You still need to make sure that you're telling people that they may not be the only one you're talking to. But once you have committed and said, like, yo, you, me, you, together, us, okay? At that point, let me say what I expect. I expect for you to be committed to this relationship in such a way that you will not give anybody else even the idea that they could potentially have you, because you're already taken. So this whole, like, can I flirt even though I'm in a relationship? I think that you can be nice. You can compliment people. But when you are giving somebody an entrance, when you're essentially setting them up and making them think that they have the opportunity to be with you when you're supposedly already with me, I now have a problem. So we have to be careful about this whole, well, I'm not married, so I can do whatever I want. All right. See how solid of a foundation you can build before you even get to that marriage by thinking like that in a committed phase.
Exactly.
Yeah. What y'all think about that?
I agree. It's you treat others how you want to be treated, if you are in a committed relationship and you wouldn't want that other person to do that, you wouldn't want your significant other to do that to you, it's just all being mindful of how would they feel if they found out I was doing this, how would it affect our relationship? Sometimes we do things and we don't even consider, like you said, y'all not married yet. How are you gonna get to the step of being married when you are actively courting or in a relationship and you still acting like you single? Like that's not gonna fly. Now, until it's implied, until it's expressed, we are exclusive. We are not seeing anybody else. Okay, it's fair game. We're just dating. We're just having fun. We're just talking or whatever. It's fair game, but I can say exercise caution, with that. But if you're exclusive and you out here openly flirting because that ain't your husband, I promise you that's not going to get them closer to being your husband.
Right.
So definitely
we're gonna be
agree
honest.
with.
Okay, go ahead.
What about?
Is Vernique freezing again?
Yeah, Vernique, you went out.
She probably gonna have to come in and out. Jada, can you
Not working. Go ahead.
Yeah. I was just gonna say, honestly, it's a recipe to get your head knocked off, because what are you doing? Like, what are you doing? I mean, not we sitting here supposed to be building something. No, what are you doing? I done put in work. You just gonna be out here talking to Molly and them? No, what are you doing? I know that ain't, turn the other cheek gospel, but he will turn the other cheek after I mollywop him, because no, this is established. Like, and I would never do that to you.
That part.
Yeah,
I
no.
know to you, so you better not do. You better
You
not.
better not.
Okay, you can trust me out here in these streets, so I need to be able to trust you as well. So, and a lot of times, and I know we're going to move into within a relationship and within a marriage and what that looks like. A lot of times, the issue with flirting, and I've experienced this personally, and a lot of this with me, when I'm telling you what not to do, is because these are mistakes that I've made in my years. But I would say flirt with your significant other. Use that same energy that you have with your significant other, because I've been in situations before in the past where I was dating or being with somebody and they were flirtatious towards someone else, and it was like, well, hey, I'm here, you ain't winked my way, said hi, bye, cat, dog, nothing today. So in order to not get your head knocked off, pour that energy into your spouse. And we talk about people who are just naturally flirtatious. Okay, be naturally flirtatious, but let me get the best of that natural flirtation. Let me see the best of you. I don't want nobody else to be able to get that and my love tank is.
Big facts. I was listening to everything I said, even though I was gone. But big facts. So for me, I personally, and what people do inside of their own relationships is between them, that person, and the Lord. Okay. What you allow in your relationship is up to you. I know women who do not care about flirting at all. Like, do your thing. I don't mind. As for me and my house, okay?
As for me and my house,
this house in here, you need to flirt with me. I'm the only flirt buddy that you have. Okay, you can smile at somebody every now and then. You can throw a compliment somewhere. If we are married, like Cece just said, the bulk of that natural flirtation, why don't I get to experience it? And why is it that when people get married, that kind of goes out the window? Like, I want to look like, I want to look at you and be like, oh, so what you doing? Like, why you looking like that? Don't think that you about to go to work looking like that. And see, now I got to tear you down. Come on, let's go. We're gonna start all over. Like,
that's
where is that
raunchy flirting comes in. That's where you can just get as raunchy as you want to with the flirtation. When we get to that segment, I am going to give a couple of tips on how to flirt with your spouse, because that's another thing. Like, we definitely are not promoting having this holy lifestyle and waiting for marriage and waiting for our spouses, and then they get the prudish, dry, raggedy side of us. Like, no, you was busting it wide open for the streets and for the world, and then you get with your husband and you can't even have a healthy sex life because you feel like you can't even be intimate or open with them without feeling that judgment. Like, this is the time where you start really getting what's on your heart and your mind, and not being afraid of, is this person going to reject me? But we're gonna get there.
Absolutely.
I just wanted to add this little 2 cents in before we move on. I think that it is important to know your mate. Okay, it is important to know who it is that you are committed to and who it is that you are married to. So Vernika and I both mentioned earlier that a part of what we do in life requires us to be charismatic. It requires us to be social and have conversations and be friendly and so on and so forth. And so we used Barack Obama as an example earlier. A part of his assignment is being friendly, is connecting with people. Now, if you are not a strong person, you would perceive that Barack was flirting with every woman that he came in contact with. Right? And vice versa. If Barack wasn't strong, every person or man that Michelle interacted with, Barack will be in insecurity and why she don't smile at me like that, and so on and so forth. And so I think it is important to know your mate, to know when they're just naturally being themselves versus when they are flirting and being out of order. And so like I definitely agree. Don't be out here sniggling and giggling with other women and stuff like that, or we gonna be fighting and I'm gonna be cussing. But if I know your heart is pure and my heart is pure and I'm not out here doing crazy stuff, and you just know that's my personality, then let that person be that person, as long as you are respecting the agreement that we have within our relationship.
We gotta
agree. Totally agree.
I feel like Michelle got them hands though.
Go ahead.
I said I feel like Michelle got them hands though, so I don't think that would be an issue. Like you can flirt if you want
That
to.
part. That
Definitely
part.
got the
And
Facts.
Bush definitely be flirting with Michelle. I saw it in the comments, and I'm agreeing with them. Bush most definitely will
that's
risk it all.
for
But
sure.
That
you know what? You know what though? What about I'm sure Obama's not looking at Bush like, "The heck you doing?" Like trying to take my woman. He knows there's no chance. And so I
right? He's
think
confident.
sometimes there are some situations, where the old lady, the elderly lady at the grocery store may be flirting with your boo. Like you ain't got to be like, oh, what? So you like saggy boobies now? You like gray hair now? Like no, like it's just a moment. It's okay. It'll pass, right? So making sure like pick and choosing your battles. But I love what Becca said. And I think that we do need to talk about, and this from personal experience. My ex-husband was a musician and a singer and a performer. I have dated artists and performers. For some reason, that's all God wants to give me. And so in situations like that, I've had to have the conversation of like, okay, well, look, babe, when I perform, I'm going to, be like, not, this is not in a Christian setting, obviously. But when I perform, I'm going to be like, I'm going to give them a show. Like I may look at a certain lady in the audience and I was like, oh, it's fine. I'm going to be standing right there. I'll be front and center. So that way you ain't gotta look to the right nor to the left. And it'll, you can still give the audience I'll be right there. You can give all that energy to me. But realizing like one, that's unrealistic. Two, that's how he is able to afford to give me many things. And three, it's an act. Like that moment requires him to be that, right? If you're like, for instance, I wrote a book. So whenever I have a book signing, I may have to, put on some energy and stuff like that. Or when I'm in certain settings, like we do have not matchmaking. Okay, Holy Spirit. When we have, what's the word? What we do? Speed dating. When we do speed dating, I might have a little bit of extra energy. Like I might have those moments. And so my man would have to understand, like, no, it's not like that. Right. Like I flirted not like heavily, but I flirted in comments before in AW just because it's funny or whatever. But that person would have to understand, like, it's not that. Like it's a moment, it's a thing. So just having I think that it's important for us to differentiate somebody actually flirting and then somebody like doing their job or just playing that role that they may have to play, and being confident enough in your relationship. Like, first of all, I know you're not going nowhere. Like, you're mine. You can't go nowhere. Like, you can give them their little flirts and whatnot, but I know, especially when you're married, like, I know that you're coming home to me and like, what's up? And so I think the goal here is the harmony of all of it. Of yes, that's their job, but make sure that if that is a part of your thing, for whatever reason, that who gets the bulk of that energy is your spouse, your partner, your whatever. So let's go really quickly into flirting. I want Becca, I want you to talk about flirting as a single woman. And Cece, I want you to talk about flirting as married. And then I want the other two ladies to talk about either side, but even in your respective like areas of expertise, or the spheres that you're in the most often, what is the right way to flirt, right? So whether you are in college and or moving out of that phase, whether treats as a professional, a medical professional, as well as a business owner. So what does it look like? What's the right way to flirt in your particular sphere? So I'm gonna start with Becca, then we'll go to Trees, Jada, and then end with CC.
All right. So singles, this is prime opportunity for you to be flirting. Okay. If you are going to flirt, as I mentioned earlier, be intentional. Do not be passive. This is not the time to, like she said, like a picture or hey man of God and all that other foolishness. If you are interested in someone, let me give you the one-on-one on how to slide into the DMs. Okay. First, we have an amazing community in AW, right? If you are unsure of a man's relationship status, ask one of us. We will find out the details for you. We'll let you know if he married, if he committed in a relationship, if he engaged, whatever, because you don't want to be out here flirting with somebody's husband or somebody man. Amen. So utilize your circle. If it's not an AW, ask your homegirls, ask around about that person before you go slide into some DMs. Secondly, interact with that person. You know how weird it is for a stranger to come knock on your door. You're not going to open it up. You're like, I don't know you. I'm not opening my door. The shot goes in smoother when they're already familiar with your name. when they're already familiar with interacting with you, whether that's on a post, on a video, if it's in person, different social events, if they're already coming with you, then you sliding in the DMs is not so out of whack, right? Okay, so now that you're in the DMs, again, do not leave the churchy stuff alone for a minute. We'll get to that. It's important. Do not at me. It is important, but it's not important right now. Right now, we are just interacting. We're laughing. One of the things that kind of helped me in my sliding days, share a GIF, share TikTok, share a post, share something that is funny. Being funny will break the ice, okay? Share something that is kind of universally funny. You don't want to do anything that's vulgar. You don't want to do anything that may go over their head. Do something that's universally funny and start a conversation from there. One of the things that works for me, or that has worked for me, talk to this person like you know them. Don't be odd and awkward. Hey, how was your day? Well, how was work for you? What's going on? I can't believe I saw this on the news. And did you hear about this? Like, just spark up a conversation. Just start talking with people. You can practice this with your opposite sex brothers in Christ. If you have actual brothers, you can practice this with the men in your life so that you aren't so awkward around the opposite sex. Now, once the conversation is going, do not make this man feel like he has to do all the work to get your attention. There's a going back and forth. There's a mutuality. It's like a dance. There's a back and forth. And so if he gives you a compliment, don't be scared to tell the man of God he fine. Like, it's okay. If you like his style, tell him his style is nice. Like we said, he smell good. Tell him he smell good. I'm going to say this, and I don't mean this to be like anti-spiritual, but be human. Be a feminine human being. Interact with him. Have a good time. And if it doesn't go anywhere, you've practiced and sharpened your skills. If it does go somewhere, then you know your skills were on point and you're moving forward. And whatever lane you guys decide to go in. So be light, have fun, enjoy the moment. If you shoot a shot and you miss, it's all right, sis. Try it again. Again, as Bernice said, flirting with someone is not pursuing. Flirting with someone is not initiating. Flirting with someone is not taking the lead. It is essentially just saying, hey, I see you. Do you see me? Let's have a conversation. So those are my tips. Oh, and lastly, smile. Smile. If you are in person, I had to do this for resting bee face. The Lord told me, hey, girl, rest your eyebrows, because I'll be in the store like this because I'm thinking about something. He was like, rest your eyebrows, rest your cheekbones, relax your face. Smile. Like she said, do the little up and down look. Let them know you see him. Okay. All right. I'm done for real.
No, those are so good. I hope y'all was taking notes. Them was good. That was that good stuff. Definitely like that RBF. I have that. I do. I have to be on in order to turn it off. And sometimes it serves you, when you at the gas station, like going in, looking all work, and I don't want nobody to talk to me. But it doesn't serve you when you want to be approached. Make sure that you look approachable. Make sure that you look, welcoming and inviting. Especially now when there's a lot of FaceTiming going on, your FaceTimes, let's make sure that we look just as pleasant and as welcoming as we want to be, as we want to look. And I love one thing where I really shine is making people laugh. So even if you're not the type who feels like you can be like, okay, fine, like, oh, you're so handsome. Like, if you don't have that part of your sensuality down pat, which I think is an important trait, it's okay. Like, crack a joke. Like, men like girls who are funny. They do. And like, I don't know about you, but I get really good satisfaction in getting somebody that I like, that I'm interested in, to laugh. It's like, okay, you feeling me, right? So don't be afraid to drop a joke. Don't be afraid to be a little bit cheesy, and all that. So that was all good, Becca. Treese?
All right. I don't know how I'm gonna follow behind Becca with all these tips, but I think one of the things for me is I notice that people will, if you bring a person in a profession, I guess for me as a healthcare provider, if you bring me a problem, you're a patient. You're a client. This isn't flirting. Like, if you come to me, be like, I got this back pain I've been dealing with for 20 years, and what can I take for that? My mind, and it's not on purpose. It's just how I'm wired. Like my mind automatically is like, okay, you have a problem that needs to be fixed. And so I'm going to go into that mode. So if you start that way, then I'm going to start looking at you that way. Similarly, if you did it for a prayer request, you are an assignment. This is not a flirt. Like they're there to help you. Um, or if you come to me and start bringing me solutions and I haven't asked for help, then it's like, okay, are you trying to fix me? Like this isn't a flirt to me. Like I'm like Renique said, I'm a business owner. So if you hit me up and we've not had any conversation and you automatically start throwing solutions at me, then I'm gonna wonder, are you spamming me? Are you, trying to get me hooked up with your business? Like it leaves questions that are outside of flirting. This isn't flirting to me. This is you are now trying to become a business connection for me. Like be mindful that even though, this person is a uh professional, even though they're an entrepreneur, they're a business person, they are a human being. There is more to their life outside of the business and outside of the profession. There's more to their life. Like try to connect with them there. Beck and I have talked about it on live. Like I've been on live with Vernique before and just talked about people are multifaceted, and so if you're only going at it from that one angle, you could put yourself in a position where that's all they see. That's how they see you. And then you're wondering why you're not getting any reciprocation. It's like, well, you've put yourself in a place where you look like a client. Like you put yourself in a place where you look like a business opportunity and not somebody that's interested in me. So then when you do start saying, well, that looks really cute, it's like, oh, that's awkward. Like I thought we were just here for business. What are you doing? You haven't established that. And there's nothing wrong with talking about, things to get the conversation going. But if that's your primary mode of communication or your primary topic, then you're putting yourself at a disadvantage. Like, I love music. Anybody that's on my page knows that I love music. I talk about music. So, you can say, hey, I see that you're a doctor. That's great. Blah, blah, blah. I also see that you love music. Have you heard this? And then I'm like, oh, yes, I have. Or no, I haven't. So now there's something more to the conversation besides the fact that you realize that I'm a doctor. Because the reality is people will hit you up all the time, especially like in fields that are supposed to be more notable or whatever, and be like, oh, you a doctor. So you got money. No, you got the money to pay them student loans. Cause that's what I'm gonna need. If you come in like that, like it just need you to know there are student loans that need to be paid. And if I feel like you are coming at me like because I'm a doctor, it's like, it's not a turn on. If this person is an influencer and you come at them like a fan and not like they're a human or someone that you're interested in, that's not a turn on. That doesn't do anything for them. Like if you're hitting that dude up and you all in fangirl mode, and please don't get me wrong, you got this person, y'all have been communicating, y'all have established a friendship, and then you start, fangirling a little bit, flirting a little bit. That's one thing. But straight out the gate, you fangirling, like, you a fan, sis. You're a fan. You are a business opportunity. You are a client. Set yourself free. Be a human, like Becca said. Please remember that you are human, that they are human. Be a human. That pastor don't want to hear. I mean, hopefully he's single if you flirting with him. That pastor don't want to, you know what I'm saying, take you to dinner if every time you hit him up, all you saying is, Pastor, please pray for me. Please pray for me. Please pray for me. Please pray for me. You are an assignment, sis. Like, and a lot of times we do it thinking that we're putting ourselves at an advantage. We're standing out. Yes, you're standing out as someone that he needs to intercede for. That's
Trees.
what that is. Ma'am,
Trees.
am I doing too much? Is that too much?
Because I
sorry.
asked you earlier if you ate, and you
I
told me yes.
did eat.
So what is
I
it?
did.
Why are you
I
talking to the
did.
people of God this way?
I thought this is what we were doing. That's not what we're doing.
She was
It is what we were doing. Listen,
I'm on the
some
wrong
hearts and
live
minds,
right now.
some hearts and minds got convicted with that one. But you're right though. When it comes to like, if you are an entrepreneur, if you're interested in somebody who is an entrepreneur, you can talk about, you know, what they do and stuff like that, but don't stay there. And actually know what they do, y'all. Somebody slid in my DMs. They were saying they were a part of AW. I told them I don't date people in the group. Okay. They proceeded to want to ask me questions and like get to know me. Whatever. I'm a friendly person. Do you know that the person of God, I don't even remember if he's still in the group, so I apologize, sir, if you're watching this. But do you understand that he then proceeded to ask me, so, like, is it your group? Because how dare you, sir? Is it my group? Like, let me be clear. I'm not cocky. I don't expect everybody to know who I am. But when you present yourself like, yo, like I'm in Authentically Wed, like you so cool and blah blah blah. Are you the leader? Get out my DMs. You weren't prepared.
Be knowledgeable. Be knowledgeable. That goes a long way.
It's on my profile. Like it's everywhere. And so I really need y'all to do your homework before you reach out. No, don't tag. Y'all petty. Do not tag.
I feel this. I feel this. I've had somebody ask me, was I a nurse before?
So hold you with Dr. G.
Are you a nurse? Yes. Don't get me wrong. I love nurses. Nurses are the backbone of healthcare. Let me just say that. I love nurses. But my page says I'm a doctor.
Clear as day. So we have to make sure that when you are talking to somebody who is an entrepreneur, who is a professional, like get to know what they actually do. Jada, tell us what is the right way to flirt?
Being confident, and like knowing who you are and knowing that his life can go up 5 times once you win it, and making sure he knows, like Bernice said, like creating the experience of, you know, yeah, I know it's other women in your DMs. Yeah, I know it's secular women out here, but ain't none of them me. And so, yeah, carrying that through your flirt, confidence, it carries through your smile. It carries through how you posture yourself. It carries through how you talk to them. So, yeah, just being about that and knowing that you about that.
First of all, confidence is everything. I think the men talked about this and said how confidence like is a huge thing for them. Like you need to go in there like, listen, once you go Neek, you ain't never gonna go back, babe. Okay?
Never.
You need to be about that. All right. Now, also, you know, in the words of prophetess Beyonce, I talk like this. Why? Because I can back it up. Don't be selling people empty hopes and dreams and promises. If you're basic, just be like, hey, I'm cool. Like, yeah, no, I'm just playing. Don't say that. Don't ever say that. You're not basic. But my point is that if you are going to step out there like you're the next best thing, please make sure that you are the next best thing. Hashtag heal for real. But anyways, I love Jada on point. Cece, wrap us up with how to date when you are. I meant how to date. Well, yeah, how to date, but how to flirt when you're married.
Okay, so I mean, I spoke about this a little earlier when I was talking about how, you know, those of us who had our time in the world, we was doing all kind of stuff, saying all kind of stuff, and then when we get up with our spouses, we are like reserved, and and quiet and shy and, you know, afraid to just really speak what's on our heart and our minds. It's like, no, our husbands should have the very best of us. They should have the freakiest version of us, the raunchiest version of us. Like, forever is a long time, and being prudish is just that's not built for longevity, unless that's the culture of y'all marriage. But honestly, just knowing like Becca said, knowing your spouse, knowing what they like and how you started out with them, continuing that. I mean, I understand we get kids and we've been together for years, and we take our relationships take a blow. We have arguments, we make up, you know, all that. But how you started out, let that continue to do whatever it is that you did at the beginning, in the middle, and just forever. So some of the things that you can do is affirming your spouse. Like, they need to hear that. Like, sometimes I feel like this, like, if my husband can go out there in the streets and get affirmation greater than what I can give him, then I've missed it. Like, it should be no one else giving my husband a big head than me. Like, he needs to know that I am his number one fan, his number one teammate, his cheerleader, and all of that. And of course, vice versa. So don't think that I'm not talking to the husbands too. I'm talking to both. You know, affirm your spouse. Make sure that they know, one, that you are proud of them, that you know that you see them working hard, you see them being diligent, that you just attracted to them, that you love them, you were thinking about them, just whatever it is that's on your heart and mind. Don't withhold what you feel in fear, you know, because I don't believe that's of God. You know, saying things like, you know, you look sexy today, or, you know, giving them a little extra confidence boost before they leave for work, or when they come home, or during the day, texting them to let them know that you are on their mind. You send them a news. Some people say their husbands don't like that, but if your husband like that, you know, send them a news, send them a picture, send them a raunchy meme that you saw on social media that's not safe for work, and it ain't safe for our profiles, because we women a God here, okay? So we may not be able to share it down our profile, but we absolutely can send that to our men. Absolutely can send it to your woman. So sending the text messages, sending those memes, sending the jokes, joking, like Vernique said, laughing together, have sexy jokes, turn things into sexy jokes. Be that way with your husband or with your wife. You know, turn things into jokes. If your mind went down the gutter and just having regular conversations, say that. Say what your mind really thought. You know, speak what's on your mind. Don't say what's on your chest. You know, and I believe those are the only things, like just sharing, just making sure that they are on your mind. And it really cultivates a culture of intimacy. It's almost foreplay in a way, when you're able to, throughout the day, tell your husband what you're going to do to them when they get home, or, you know, that you're thinking about them, or that you want them. It builds up the day. Like, it makes them have, you know, it's sometimes I've been like, all right, hubby, you better hurry up, come home, because and bro be at that door, okay? So it's like, build up that expectation that he knows when he comes through that door, that it's on and popping, or, you know, what you've been thinking, you know, that you've been thinking of them. I think it goes a long way. You got to play the long game, you know, play the long game. Don't get stagnant in that. And if it's been a while since you've done that, let this be your reminder, you know. So go ahead and let them know they on your mind, and what features you like or of them, or what you love on them, what you just, you know, just anything, just continue to do it. And if even if they're not doing it back yet, if you continue to cultivate that culture of we flirting with each other, and this is the way we talk to one another, having inside jokes, because if you got small kids, you may not be able to say what you really want to say, but having those inside jokes is everything. Okay, so those are just a couple tips I got.
Listen, those were so good. I got a little excited listening to some of these ideas, and some of the ones in the comments talking about doing the silhouette challenge and the busted down challenge for your men. I like that. I like it. So there was another comment that I think Ashanti made a comment about, you know, taking your spouse to dinner, telling them don't order dessert. What? Oh, who said? Hold on, we gotta go back to that comment real quick. Don't order dessert because you're it, and then the waiter brings a check, tell him to meet you in the car. So Like you went to me. Look, Cece, like, let me write this one down. Listen. So what I hear when Cece talks about is, okay, the flirting level that we're trying to get y'all to have. If you're single, when you get married, you should be through the roof. You know what I'm saying? Like that energy goes up because now you can do more, you can say more, you can talk nasty and back it up and actually back it up. Okay. So do not lose that fire. Do not lose that energy. Keep that. Matter of fact, don't keep that same energy. Level up that energy when you get married. And it's important for you to kind of set that foundation now of being, expressive, um, appropriately, but being expressive with your language and telling people like, hey, you're attractive, like you're fine, like, oh, I like that suit you working that. Oh, you smell good. What's that? So be, and it's inflection, it's tone of voice. I mean, one day maybe we can do a single by single or a connection between the two and talk about how tone can impact how a message is received and how like certain eye glances, like there's a difference between me talking to you like this and then me squinting my eyes a little bit and like, when that eyebrow come up, like, look at you, what you doing? Huh? Huh? You see that? It's a little bit of it's some energy. All right. So we gotta learn how to use those things. And Brittany talked about making room and making sure that like talking about it to make sure that your spouse can ask for more or for some things to change. So always being flexible if you are married to what flirting may look like. Not just what you're comfortable, right? This goes back to love languages, not just what you're comfortable with giving, but what they actually need. So maybe your spouse isn't big, they don't care if you compliment them, but they really want you compliment their physical features, but they like it when you tell them that they accomplished a task well, like, ooh, like when they tell you they finished a project at work, like, okay, babe, look at you making that money. I like that. Like, maybe those are the types of things that they want your affirmation on, or they want to feel some energy in you from. And sometimes maybe the brother just wants you to be naked. Huh?
That works too. Naked and oiled up. That works too.
Be naked and unashamed. That's what the Bible said.
That's what it said.
Amen.
I read it. I can't do it, but I read it. So yeah. So that's pretty much it. I know we've gone through a lot. There's so many different ways that we fabric softener. What y'all doing with fabric? Never, I don't even know. Thank y'all for watching tonight. This has been fun. I hope that y'all enjoyed Flirt School. If you think that we should bring this back, if we need Flirt School 201, let us know in the comments and we'll bring it back next time. But in the meantime, don't forget to, oh shoot, I'm gonna do this after I get off. But don't forget to sign up for karaoke challenge. And if you're watching because of our birthday, for the rest of the week, everything in our AW store is going to be 30% off. The cards, our t-shirts, what else we got in there? I don't know. Whatever's in there, 30% off the whole rest of the week. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. It should be done in a couple minutes. It won't take me long. So buy something, support us. Thank you so much for getting us to 2 years, y'all, and we're strong. We're going strong. Thank y'all for supporting this platform. And if you don't want to buy a shirt, but you do want to support our ministry, feel free to cash app us and we got a real cash app now. So it's Authentically Wed 1. Do not stop at Authentically Wed. There's another one, but I don't have access to that. Somebody created it and never gave me the password. So do not send money over there. But Authentically Wed 1, $ Authentically Wed 1, if you just want to sew into us because you love us and you love what we do, please feel free. If you also want to purchase our conversation cards, those will be 30% off for the rest of the week, as well as some of our t-shirt and merch will be available. So please stay connected. Ask people to join the group. We want this community to continue to grow. I wanted us to be at 5K by this time. We're almost there. So let's invite people all this week. Like I said, don't forget the karaoke challenge. That's authenticallywed.com/karaoke. Any parting words, ladies? No?
Now that we know better, we're gonna do better.
Absolutely.
Oh, and if you're
don't be offended by the correction that we gave you guys. Don't be offended by it. Don't take it as a personal attack. We are sisters and we want you to get better. If this is the season of love, which I believe it is, maybe you need to change your tactics to get better results.
Come on, season of love.
on
And I spoke from experience, a lot of things like trial and error. And then also if you are a wife and you know, we have conversations like this within we have a group meet, Real Wives of AW. If you're a wife and you're in here, you are Real Wives of AW. Send me an inbox, send me a message or Brittany Jackson, and I'll add you into the group meet because we have conversations like this often about, you know, love languages with our spouse and what that looks like and, you know, just how to adjust and pivot. So I would love to, you know, add you guys to our community. This was super dope. Thank you so much, Veronique, for having us here.
Thank y'all. Thank y'all. Yes, please join Real Wives of AW. Eventually we'll talk about what single fi single looks like. So stay tuned. And I'm seeing some people who talking about 201. So we'll talk about that. Let's plan to have a 201 for She Shed next time for Flirt School. So all right, if all hearts and minds are clear, thank you so much for watching. I hope you all have a good night.